So the first features from Minecraft's 2026 spring game drop just got revealed, and it's interesting, that's for sure. The official features announced include new textures for a plethora of the baby variants of mobs, some new sounds for the baby mobs including pigs, wolves, and cats. The rabbit's texture for both the baby and adult has been completely overhauled, and they finally made name tags craftable. Well, this was just the first little snippet of features announced. I kind of want to talk about some of my initial thoughts on this drop, because if I'm being honest, I'm a little mixed. Now, before I say anything, I want to clarify that these are only the first few features that have been revealed, so my opinions could change in the future, but I think we're still getting a pretty good look at what the overall theme and vibe of this drop is going to be. So first, I want to start off with the positives of what they've shown so far, and while they haven't shown much, I will say I do like what I see. The new textures for the baby mobs, while might take some getting used to, are really nice, and I'm a big fan of differentiating textures to provide more variety, like what they did in last year's spring drop with adding different biome variants for mobs like the cow and the pig. I think all these new textures are super cute, with my favorites probably being the mushroom and the chicken. Not every new mob currently has a baby texture. Like, I know the camel, the fox, and the panda are still the same, but I'm sure more mobs will be updated in the following weeks. The new sounds given to the wolf, cat, and pig, while not major changes, are still nice little additions to liven up the world. And I also want to note that the change to the rabbit texture is something I'm actually a pretty big fan of. I actually liked the original texture quite a bit too, and I still kind of have to get used to this new one, but my first impressions are quite positive. I just really like the new animations. I think they give the mob a lot of new life, which was definitely missing before. And lastly, name tags being craftable is super helpful, and the recipe is super cheap, so getting your hands on these is going to be super easy now. But that brings me into my first negative, and this one's pretty minor, but I feel like some of these older structures need to have their loot updated a bit, as part of the reason they used to be so exciting is because they were one of the few places you could get your hands on something like a name tag or a saddle, both of which are now craftable, taking away some of the value of this structure. This isn't a huge deal for me, but it's something I definitely wanted to bring up. Getting into my actual negatives for this drop though, it's kind of tricky. See, I actually do like all the content that's inside, but at the same time, none of these features are really gonna affect the way I play the game. I'm all for ambient changes, but they don't do much to differentiate your playthrough, at least not baby mob textures. Like I said prior, we have no idea what else could come in this drop, but it seems like the theme's going to be similar to last year's spring drop, which is overall an overworld ambience update. I've been asking for Minecraft to update ambience for a while now, but I feel like since we just had an update similar to this last year, it's not something that's going to get myself and many players that excited. Not to mention, when you only add like ambient sounds for one biome and then change the textures of like certain mobs, this is not an ambient update. It's a very small ambient update to a very small section of the game. The ambient update I'm talking about is an overhaul to literally the entire world with new sounds. I will also say though that I do think for ambient changes, the spring drop is by far the most fitting time for them to have a drop focused around these type of additions. My main issue is I just don't think this is something many players are really going to care about, even if the new textures are nice changes. I think the question most of us should really be asking is, does this feel like what the game really needs? There's so many aspects of the game that I feel like should take priority when it comes to minor tweaks and updates, like simply giving the fletching table a use. And if this drop is ambience focused and mostly introducing texture overhauls like the last spring drop, I feel like baby mobs are at the bottom of the list of what textures need to be updated most. So many people have asked for new UI textures unique to their block, unique textures for different enchantment books, unique textures for different potions, etc. And even on theme with this drop, more players have requested for ambient sounds to biomes like I mentioned earlier, so I feel like that could have been a better initial reveal. However, this is something that I do think we may actually end up seeing later down the line for this drop. Whether it's for one biome or many, I do think at least one biome in this drop will be given some new ambient sounds, and I'm hoping that it is the colder biomes. But really, my main issue, coming from someone who is a fan of the game drop system overall, is that even with game drops, we still need major updates sprinkled in that actually focus on overhauling a big area of the game, or introducing features that actually change the way we play in a big way. Now, by no means was I expecting the spring drop reveal for this year to be an enormous update like an end update or something, but as someone who does actually like game drops, I'm starting to feel the hole that's left by the lack of a major update. I mean, we haven't had one since June of 2024, so about a year and a half, and one of the biggest things with these game drops is many of the features do just lack a certain level of depth. They might be cool, but they're the types of features that you hop on, see them once, and that's about it. Now, game drops do also contain some really good stuff like spears and the shelf block, but when 2 of your 4 new features are meh, the update overall is just gonna gonna feel kind of meh. What they showed off for the initial features of this drop are by no means bad, like genuinely I like them, but I'm at the point where I feel like these updates are getting less and less exciting, where the drops only contain one feature that actually piques my interest, and the rest I kind of throw to the back of my mind. Now that's not to say this update doesn't have some potential, because I do think they could bring in some cool features like more ambient sounds, more updated mob animations, and maybe even something like the Moo Bloom, but overall I'm just not sure this drop is going to be something players really care about. And please don't take this as me hating on Mojang, because like I've said a million times in this video already, I don't think the content is bad, it just feels like it's lacking innovation and depth. Maybe I've just been rambling, I'm not really sure, but I just don't know how to feel about this drop, and I kind of wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. But I'm curious what you guys have to think, so leave any thoughts you have down in the comments below. Now, if you did enjoy this video whatsoever, a like is greatly appreciated and goes a long way towards helping the channel out, as well as subscribing so you never miss out on another video just like this one. My goal is to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2026, so you guys helping me get there is greatly appreciated. I also now have a Discord, so if you want to get the chance to chat with me a bit, a link will be down in the description and the pinned comment below. Anyways guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.